Have you ever felt like the world is too loud? Everyone is talking, showing, posting, proving something. And in the middle of all that noise, you feel small. You feel unseen. You feel like your work, your effort, your struggle does not matter because nobody notices. It hurts, doesn't it? You want recognition. You want support. You want someone to say, I see you. I believe in you. But instead, you get silence. Or worse, you get judgment. I know that feeling. It makes your heart heavy. You ask yourself, why should I keep going if nobody cares? Why should I work so hard when no one claps for me? That is the secret struggle we all face. The doubt that whispers, maybe I am not enough. Maybe my dreams will stay dreams. Maybe my silence means failure. But let me tell you something powerful. Silence is not failure. Silence can be your greatest power. This video is about that, about learning to focus on yourself, about learning to work without needing the noise, without needing the eyes of others, without needing the applause. Because the truth is simple. The quiet work you do when nobody sees is the work that will change everything. Your silence today will be your strength tomorrow. Comment if you've ever felt this way. Stay with me, because in this journey together, you will discover a new way to see yourself. You will learn how to focus deeply, how to stay patient, how to move forward when no one is watching. And when the time comes, your success will speak so loudly that you will not need to. This is the promise of this video. If you stay until the end, you will never again feel weak in your silence. You will feel powerful in it. You will feel free. You will feel ready to rise. Chapter 1. When I was young, I used to think that the people who spoke the loudest were the strongest. I thought the ones who told everyone about their dreams, their plans, their goals, were the ones who would win in life. But then I watched carefully. I saw that many people who talk too much about their dreams often never reach them. They lose their energy in speaking. They show their ideas to the world before those ideas are ready. And when the world laughs or criticizes, their fire slowly dies. I also saw something else. The quiet ones. The ones who said nothing, but kept working. They looked ordinary. They looked invisible. Nobody expected much from them. But slowly, their work grew. Their roots grew deep in the ground. And one day, suddenly, they rose so high that nobody could ignore them anymore. They did not need to shout. Their success shouted for them. And that is when I understood something that changed my life. Silence is not weakness. Silence is preparation. Think about a seed under the soil. It is silent. You cannot see it. You may even forget it is there. But in that silence, something powerful is happening. The seed is fighting in the dark, pushing its roots deeper, gathering strength. And when the time is right, it breaks the soil and grows into a tree. People look at the tree and say, "Wow, where did this come from?" But you know the truth. It came from years of silent growth underground. You are like that seed. Your silence today is your power tomorrow. But here is the problem. Silence is not easy. We want to show. We want to prove. We want to be seen. We want people to clap for us right now. And when they don't, we feel like we are invisible. We feel like nothing. But my friend, remember this. Your journey is not about being seen. Your journey is about becoming strong enough that one day people cannot help but see you. That day will come if you keep working in silence. So ask yourself today, do you want fast applause or do you want real success? Do you want to shine for one day or do you want to shine for a lifetime? If you want to shine forever, then you must first grow in silence. You must train your mind to accept that it is okay if nobody notices you right now. It is okay if nobody claps for you today. The tree does not ask the soil to cheer. The seed does not beg the sun to notice. It just grows. And you can too. Let me tell you something powerful. When you focus on yourself and your own growth, life changes. You start to care less about what others think. You start to feel peace inside because your energy is not wasted on showing off. Your energy is invested in building. And the truth is, the quiet builders always last longer than the loud talkers. Because noise fades, but real strength stays. Remember this line and hold it close. Your silence is not empty. It is full of your future. That future is waiting for you, and every day you choose to work in silence, you are writing that future step by step. Chapter 2. There was a time when I wanted everyone to know what I was doing. I wanted to share every small progress, every little achievement, every dream I had. When I studied, I told people. When I worked hard, I told people. When I had a new plan, I announced it. At first, it felt good. People clapped. They said, "Wow, that's amazing." But then I noticed something strange. The more I shared, the less energy I had to actually do the work. My energy went into telling the story, not into building the story. That is when I realized the truth. If you keep telling the world your dreams before they are ready, you give away your power. You give people a chance to doubt you. You give them the chance to question you. And even if they don't mean harm, their doubt enters your heart like poison. One small comment, one little laugh, one look of disbelief can break your spirit. And suddenly the fire inside you starts to feel smaller. But when you keep your dreams inside, when you guard them like treasure, you protect your energy. You protect your heart. You give your dreams the chance to grow in peace, without noise, without judgment, without eyes watching you. That is the beauty of working in silence. Nobody can stop you, because nobody even knows what you are building. You are free. Think about an artist who paints in a small room with the door closed. No one sees the first lines. No one sees the mistakes. No one sees the failed attempts. The artist paints, erases, paints again. It looks messy. It looks like failure. But slowly, the picture becomes beautiful. And only when it is ready does the artist open the door and show the world. And everyone says, "This is amazing." They don't know how many silent nights were behind that one picture. You must be like that artist. Protect your work in silence until it is strong enough to face the world, because silence is not about hiding. Silence is about building. It is about guarding your dream until it is unshakable. But let me warn you, silence will test your patience. You will feel lonely. You will wonder if you are moving in the right direction. You will see others showing their lives, their successes, their fake happiness on social media, and you will think, "Am I behind? Am I wasting my time?" But here is the truth. You are not behind. You are not wasting your time. You are building something real, while many others are just showing something fake. And when the noise fades, your truth will remain. Here is the retention spike I want you to carry in your heart. Silence today builds strength that noise tomorrow can never break. Remember this every time you feel the urge to show the world before you are ready. Hold your silence like a shield. Work behind that shield. Build in peace. And when your time comes, the world will not just hear you, they will feel you. Chapter 3. One of the hardest lessons in life is this: people do not always understand your journey. You may try to explain your dream, your plan, your vision, but their eyes will not see what your heart sees. They may laugh. They may say, "It's impossible." They may even tell you to stop, to give up, to be realistic. And if you listen to those voices, you will lose the most important thing in the world, your belief in yourself. That is why silence is so powerful. When you choose silence, you stop explaining yourself. You stop asking for permission. You stop waiting for someone else to believe in you. Instead, you begin to believe in yourself. And when you believe in yourself deeply, you become unstoppable. The world's doubts no longer control you because you know the truth. Nobody else needs to understand your journey. Only you do. Think of a mountain climber. At the bottom of the mountain, people say, "It's too high. You will never reach the top." But the climber does not argue. The climber does not waste time explaining. The climber simply starts walking, one step at a time, in silence. And hours later, when the climber is standing at the peak, the same people look up in shock and say, "How did you do it?" The answer is simple: silence, focus, and hard work. My friend, you are that climber. Every step you take in silence, every effort you make without showing, is taking you closer to your peak. The voices at the bottom may laugh now, but they will admire you later. They may doubt you today, but they will respect you tomorrow. And that respect will not come because you asked for it. It will come because you earned it in silence. But here is the challenge. It hurts when people do not believe in you. It hurts when even your family, your friends, or the ones closest to you say you cannot do it. You feel alone. You feel small. You wonder, maybe they are right. Maybe I should give up. But in those moments, remember this: their vision is not your vision. Their limits are not your limits. Their belief is not your belief. You are walking a path that only you can see. And that path is not for them to understand. It is for you to follow. Here is the truth I want you to remember. Explaining your dream will not make it real. Working in silence will. Stop wasting your energy on words. Use that energy for action. Do not fight with doubters. Do not argue with critics. Let your silence be your answer. Let your results be your voice. Because when your success speaks, it will be louder than any words you could ever say. So, if you feel unseen right now, if you feel unheard, if you feel like nobody understands you, smile. That is your gift. That is your freedom. You are free to work without judgment. You are free to rise without limits. And one day, when you stand on your mountain, the world will finally see what you saw all along. Chapter 4. Silence gives you something that noise never can. It gives you focus. When you are quiet, when you stop comparing yourself, when you stop telling everyone what you are doing, you create space inside your mind. In that space, you can finally hear your own voice. And that voice is the one that guides you toward your true path. But when you live in noise, you get lost. You start listening to everyone else. You hear their opinions, their judgments, their advice, their doubts. And soon, you cannot hear yourself anymore. You forget what you want. You forget why you started. That is why many people lose their dreams, not because they cannot achieve them, but because they let too many voices drown out their own. Think of a student in a library. The world outside is full of cars, music, conversations, distractions. But inside the library, it is silent. And in that silence, the student can finally focus. The student can finally read, think, and grow. That is what your life needs. A library for your mind. A place of silence where you can focus, study yourself, and grow without interruption. But here comes the test. Silence can feel lonely. You will see others talking, laughing, sharing, showing, and you may think, maybe I am missing out. Maybe I am falling behind. That thought is dangerous because silence is not about falling behind. Silence is about moving forward in your own lane, at your own pace. Remember, the turtle moved slowly, but it still reached the finish line before the rabbit. Because the turtle stayed focused, the turtle stayed steady. Let me tell you something important. Discipline loves silence. Every time you choose silence, you train your discipline. And discipline is the strongest friend you will ever have. Talent fades without discipline. Motivation dies without discipline. Even passion burns out without discipline. But discipline, once built, will carry you through every storm. And silence is the soil where discipline grows best. Here is the retention spike. Focus is not about doing more. Focus is about doing what matters, in silence, again and again. So if you are working quietly today, do not feel small. Feel proud. Every silent effort you make is sharpening your focus. Every day you resist the noise, you are growing stronger inside. And one day that strength will show in everything you do. Your silence is not your weakness. Your silence is your weapon. Use it. Protect it. Stay loyal to it. And it will carry you to places noise never could. Chapter 5. There is a deep truth about silence that many people forget. Silence gives you energy. When you are not busy talking, proving, and showing, you save your strength for the real work. And that strength is precious. Because every dream you have, every goal you want, every change you wish for, it all needs energy. Not the energy of words, but the energy of action. I learned this lesson the hard way. There was a time when I wanted to impress people. I told them everything I was planning. I talked about my goals. I wanted them to admire me. And yes, sometimes they did. They said, "That sounds amazing." But then, when it was time to actually do the work, I felt tired. I felt empty. Because I had already spent my energy on talking, my dream became weaker, not stronger. Then I tried something new. I stopped talking. I kept my goals in my heart. I didn't tell anyone. I just worked. And suddenly, I had more power. I had more focus. I felt like all my energy was building a fire inside me, not escaping through words. And that fire pushed me forward. That fire gave me strength to do what I once thought was impossible. Think about a candle. If you keep it covered, the fire grows steady. It burns strong. But if you expose it to the wind, it flickers and dies. Your dream is that candle. Silence is the cover that protects it. And work is the flame that keeps it alive. If you protect your dream with silence, your fire will keep burning. But if you expose it too soon, the wind of doubt, jealousy, or judgment will blow it out. This is why the greatest people in history worked in silence. They didn't waste their time telling everyone, "I will succeed." They simply succeeded. And the world noticed when the time was right. Their energy went into action, not words. You must do the same. Save your energy for the work. Save your power for building, not for showing. Because in the end, people will not remember what you said. They will remember what you did. Here's the retention spike for you. Words may impress for a moment, but work will inspire for a lifetime. So today, guard your energy. Protect your silence. Put your power where it matters, into the work that will build your future. And every day you choose action over words, you grow stronger, brighter, and unstoppable. Chapter 6. When you choose silence, you also choose patience. And patience is not just waiting. Patience is strength. It is the power to hold on, to keep moving, even when nothing seems to change. Many people quit their dreams not because they are weak, but because they cannot wait. They want quick results. They want fast success. And when it does not come, they give up. But life does not work that way. Big things take time. A tree does not grow in one day. A house is not built in 1 week. A strong life is not created in 1 month. Everything that lasts takes time. And silence is what teaches you how to wait, how to grow slowly, how to trust the process. There was a time I thought I was failing because I could not see results. I was working hard, but nothing was changing. I felt invisible. I thought maybe I should stop. But then I realized, even if I cannot see the results, something is happening inside me. My patience was building. My strength was growing. My character was being shaped in silence. And when the results finally came, they were stronger because I had already built the strength to carry them. Think about water boiling. For minutes, it looks the same. Nothing changes. But inside, the heat is rising. The water is getting ready. And then, suddenly, it boils. Your dream works the same way. Your silent work is heating you up inside. You may not see the change now, but when the time is right, everything will rise. But patience is not easy. There will be days when you feel tired, when you wonder if all your silent work is even worth it. In those moments, remember this: patience is not wasting time. Patience is investing time. Every day you stay silent. Every day you keep working. You are investing in your future. And no investment is more valuable than the one you put into yourself. Here is the retention spike for this chapter. Impatience makes you quit. Patience makes you grow. So trust your silence. Trust the time it takes. Trust the slow growth. Because when the day comes, your results will not just surprise others, they will surprise even you. And you will look back and realize that the silence you hated was the silence that made you strong. Chapter 7. There is a secret about silence that many people do not see. Silence makes you stronger because it removes the need for approval. When you stop telling everyone about your plans, you also stop waiting for their applause. You stop living for their opinions. You stop depending on their validation. And when you no longer need approval, you become free. Think about how many times people give up on their dreams. Not because the dream was impossible, but because someone else said, "It will never work." That one sentence kills more dreams than failure ever could. But if you work in silence, you never give them that power. They cannot kill what they do not see. They cannot stop what they do not know. In silence, your dream belongs only to you, and that makes it stronger. I remember when I first started something new. I was excited, so I told a friend. I wanted support, I wanted encouragement. But instead, they laughed. They said, You can't do that." Their words cut me like a knife. For days, I thought maybe they were right. But then I realized something important. Their words did not define me. My work would. And from that day, I chose silence. I stopped seeking approval. I gave myself permission to believe in me. And that changed everything. When you do not need applause, you can keep going even when nobody notices. You can stay steady even when people ignore you. You can keep building even when others doubt you. That is true strength. Because the truth is, people's opinions change like the wind. One day they cheer, the next day they criticize. If you depend on that, you will rise and fall with their moods. But if you depend only on your own belief, you will stay steady through every storm. Here is the retention spike. The day you stop needing approval is the day you start living free. So, my friend, focus on yourself. Believe in your own journey. Do not wait for someone to clap for you before you move. Clap for yourself in silence. Encourage yourself in silence. And when the time is right, your results will make the loudest noise of all. Chapter 8. Silence also teaches you something that most people never master: control. When you are silent, you learn to control your emotions, your reactions, your words, and control is power. Because life will test you, people will provoke you, they will question you, they will try to distract you or push you off your path. If you react to everything, you will lose your energy. But if you remain calm, if you stay silent, you keep your power in your own hands. I remember a moment when someone insulted me. They wanted me to argue. They wanted me to prove myself with words. My heart burned with anger. I wanted to shout back. But then I stopped. I chose silence. I chose to let my actions speak later. And you know what? That silence gave me peace. That silence gave me strength. Because I did not waste my energy on anger. I kept it for my growth. Months later, when my results came, I did not need to say anything. My success became my answer. This is the beauty of silence. It protects you from wasting your life on small battles. Not every fight deserves your energy. Not every opinion needs your reply. When you stay silent, you rise above the noise. You choose peace over conflict. You choose focus over distraction. And in the long run, that choice makes you powerful. Think of a lion. The lion does not roar at every barking dog. The lion stays calm, focused, silent, because the lion knows who it is. And when it roars, it is not to prove itself, it is to show its true power. You must be like that lion. Stay silent when the world tries to pull you down. Save your roar for the right moment. But silence is not weakness. It does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you understand that the best reply is not words, but results. People may laugh now, but silence allows you to build a future that will wipe away their laughter. Here is the retention spike. Silence is not the absence of power. Silence is the control of power. So, the next time someone doubts you, insults you, or tries to drag you into noise, remember this: you do not need to prove yourself with words. You will prove yourself with results. And when your results come, they will speak louder than anything you could ever say. Chapter 9. In silence, you also learn discipline. And discipline is the bridge between your dreams and your reality. Many people dream big, but they cannot stay consistent. They start with fire, but the fire dies quickly. They chase excitement, but when excitement fades, they stop. That is why their dreams remain dreams. But when you choose to work in silence, you build discipline. You learn to do the work even when nobody is watching, even when nobody is clapping, even when nobody cares. I remember when I first started waking up early to work on my goals. At first, it was difficult. My body was tired. My mind wanted to sleep. And there was no one to push me. No one to encourage me, no one to even notice. But in that silence, I discovered my true power. Because every morning I got up, I was training my discipline. Every small act of consistency was making me stronger. And soon, it became a habit. I no longer needed motivation. I had discipline. Discipline is built in silence. When the world is asleep and you are working. When everyone else is distracted and you are focused. When others give excuses and you keep going. That is discipline. And that discipline will carry you further than talent, further than luck, further than motivation. Think about the gym. The strongest body is not built in one day. It is built by showing up again and again in silence. Nobody claps when you lift the first weight. Nobody cheers when you do the 10th push-up. But months later, when your strength shows, people will ask, "How did you do it?" And your answer will be simple: silent discipline. The same is true for your life. Every day you work in silence, you are building a foundation that cannot be shaken. Every day you show up without applause, you are proving to yourself that your dream matters more than noise. That is discipline. And discipline is freedom. Because when you are disciplined, you are no longer controlled by moods or feelings. You do not need motivation to act. You simply act. Here is the retention spike. Motivation comes and goes. Discipline stays. So, if you feel tired today, if you feel invisible, if you feel like nobody cares about your work, remember this. That is the perfect moment to build discipline. Because in silence, you are not only working on your dream, you are working on yourself. And when you master yourself, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Chapter 10. Silence also builds confidence. At first, this may sound strange. You might think confidence comes from being loud, from showing yourself, from telling the world who you are. But real confidence is different. Real confidence is quiet. It does not need to scream. It does not need to prove. Real confidence comes from knowing inside your heart that you can do it, even if nobody else believes. When you work in silence, you give yourself time to grow. You give yourself time to learn, to fail, to try again without judgment. You practice in the shadows, where nobody can see your mistakes. And slowly, those mistakes turn into mastery. And mastery creates confidence. Not the fake confidence of words, but the true confidence of results. I remember when I first practiced speaking in English. I was nervous. I didn't want anyone to hear me. My pronunciation was broken, my grammar was weak, and I felt small. But I practiced in silence. I talked to myself. I repeated sentences. I whispered in the dark. And slowly, I grew better. Slowly, my voice became stronger. And one day, when I finally spoke to others, I was ready. My silence had built my confidence. This is why silence is so powerful. It gives you the space to prepare without fear. It allows you to fail safely, to grow slowly, to rise steadily. And when the time comes to step into the light, you step with strength, because you are not pretending. You are ready. Think about a boxer training in the gym. Nobody sees the hours of practice, the sweat, the pain. Nobody sees the punches missed, the falls, the struggles. But when the fight begins, the boxer's silence speaks. Their preparation, their training, their hidden work, it all shows in that one moment. Confidence is born in silence. Here is the retention spike. Confidence is not in your words. It is in your work. So if you feel shy, if you feel weak, if you feel like you are not ready, do not run to the world for approval. Do not try to speak loudly to hide your fear. Instead, go into silence. Work, practice, build, and let that silence create the quiet confidence that nobody can take away from you. Chapter 11. Silence teaches you the value of peace. In a world full of noise, comparison, and competition, peace is rare. People are always rushing, always shouting, always showing they want to prove they are better, richer, smarter, stronger. But when you live like that, your heart never rests. You are always chasing, always fighting, always tired. When you choose silence, you step out of that race. You stop comparing yourself to others. You stop caring about what they are doing or what they are saying. You return to yourself. And in that quiet space, you discover something beautiful: peace. Peace is not the absence of problems. Peace is the presence of focus. Peace is when you know what matters to you, and you give your heart fully to it without distraction. I remember when I used to scroll through social media, seeing the lives of others, their smiles, their travels, their money, their success. I felt small. I felt like my life was behind. I felt restless. But then, when I turned it off, when I stopped looking outside and started looking inside, I found peace, because I realized my path is my own. My timing is my own. My success will come in my own way, and I did not need to compare anymore. Silence gives you that gift. It takes you away from the noise of comparison and brings you back to the truth of your own life. And when you live in peace, you gain strength, because your mind is clear, your heart is calm, your energy is not wasted on jealousy or fear. You can give it all to your own work. Think of water in a river. When the water is noisy, rushing, crashing against the rocks, it is wild and unclear. But when the water becomes still, it reflects the sky like a mirror. Your mind works the same way. In noise, you cannot see clearly. But in silence, your mind becomes still, and your vision becomes clear. Here is the retention spike. Peace is not found in the world's noise. Peace is found in your own silence. So choose silence not only for success, but for peace. Because peace will give you the energy to work, the patience to wait, and the strength to rise. And when you have peace, nothing outside can shake you. You will not just build a life of achievement. You will build a life of calm power. Chapter 12. Silence also gives you clarity. When the world is loud, when everyone is telling you what to do, when opinions fly around like arrows, your mind gets confused. You don't know which way to go. You doubt yourself. You start to ask, should I do what they say? Should I follow their way? Maybe they are right. Maybe I am wrong. And in that confusion, you lose your direction. But when you step into silence, you begin to see clearly. You can finally hear your own heart. You can listen to your own vision. You can separate what you truly want from what others want for you. That clarity is priceless. Because without clarity, you waste time. You waste energy. You waste your life chasing things that do not belong to you. I remember a time when I tried to please everyone. I wanted to do what my family expected. I wanted to do what my friends suggested. I wanted to fit in with society's idea of success. But the more I followed their voices, the more lost I became. I was busy but not happy. I was moving but not forward. And then I stopped. I became silent. I asked myself, what do I want? What life feels true to me? And slowly, the answer came. It was not what others expected, but it was mine. That silence gave me clarity, and that clarity gave me freedom. Clarity is the map for your life. Without it, you walk in circles. With it, you move forward with strength. And the best way to find clarity is not through noise, but through silence. Because silence removes distraction. Silence takes away pressure. Silence puts you face to face with yourself. Think of a foggy morning. You cannot see the road. Everything looks blurry. But when the sun rises, the fog clears, and suddenly the road is visible. That is what silence does to your life. It clears the fog so you can finally see your way. Here is the retention spike. Clarity is born in silence, not in noise. So if you feel lost, if you feel confused, if you feel like you don't know where your life is going, do not panic. Do not run to the world for answers. Instead, go into silence. Sit with yourself. Listen to your heart. And in that quiet space, the answer will come. It may take time, but it will come. And when it does, you will know which road is yours. And you will walk it with certainty. Chapter 13. Silence gives you strength, but it also gives you humility. And humility is one of the most beautiful powers a human being can have. Because when you are humble, you do not need to shout about your success. You do not need to prove you are better. You simply live your truth, and your truth shines without words. Many people lose themselves when they achieve something. They want the world to see, to clap, to admire. They forget the silent road that brought them there. They forget the nights of hard work, the mornings of struggle, the quiet sacrifices. And slowly, pride destroys what silence once built. That is why humility is so important. It protects your success. It keeps you grounded. It reminds you that you are not above others. You are simply focused on your own path. I remember someone who worked hard in silence for years. Nobody noticed them. Nobody clapped. But one day, their success was so big that everyone could see it. People came to admire them, to praise them, to follow them. But this person stayed quiet, stayed humble. They did not use their success to look down on others. They used it to inspire. And that is why their success lasted. Because it was built not only on silence, but on humility. Silence trains you for that. It teaches you that you do not need to show off. It teaches you that your value is not in how many people see you, but in how true you remain to yourself. And when you live with humility, you find peace, respect, and real happiness. Think of the ocean. It is deep, powerful, endless, but it does not need to shout about its greatness. It simply is, and everyone who sees it feels its power. That is humility. That is the quiet strength you must carry. Here is the retention spike. The louder your silence, the deeper your humility. So, when your success comes, and it will remember your silence, do not throw away the quiet strength that brought you here. Stay humble. Stay true. Let your life inspire, not boast. Because the world does not need more noise. The world needs more quiet strength, more silent examples, more humble souls who rise without shouting. Chapter 14. There is one last truth I want to leave with you. Silence is not only about how you work, it is about how you live. When you focus on yourself, when you stop comparing, when you stop shouting, when you stop proving, you begin to feel something very rare in this world. Freedom. Freedom from judgment. Freedom from pressure. Freedom from the endless need to be seen. When you live in silence, you realize you do not need to show the world everything. You do not need to explain your every step. You do not need to prove your worth through likes, comments, or applause. Your worth is already inside you. Your dream is already enough. Your work is already powerful. And that quiet truth is more valuable than any recognition the world can give you. I once met a man who worked for years in silence. Nobody saw his sacrifices. Nobody saw his struggle. He lived simply, humbly, quietly. And then, one day, his work touched the world. People admired him, respected him, celebrated him. But when they asked, "How did you do it?" he simply smiled and said, "I just kept working." His story taught me that success does not need noise. Success needs silence, patience, and consistency. And now, my friend, this is the choice in front of you. You can live for noise, or you can live for truth. You can chase applause, or you can chase growth. You can focus on others, or you can focus on yourself. The path of silence is not easy. It is lonely. It is slow. It is quiet. But it is the path that leads to real strength, real freedom, and real success. So here is the final retention spike. Work so hard in silence that one day your results make all the noise for you. This is your time. This is your moment. Do not wait for the world to see you. See yourself. Do not wait for others to clap. Clap for yourself in silence. Do not wait for permission. Give yourself permission. And when the world finally notices, you will not need to say a word. Your life will speak louder than anything you could ever tell them.